Hi, I'm Peter Brousseau for 101 Small Business Mastermind, and I'll steal a quote from the Space Cowboys. Team Data List rides again. Holy cow, we ride again. So Frank, say good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Frank and everybody.
Dick, say good morning, Dick.
Good morning, Dick.
All right, let's hope that's all working for us. We're just going to hope for the best here. Okay, so I'm going to start off with, there's two things I wanted to do. Mine's always technology. And we're writing books, and I know Frank is, and I'm writing too. And I mentioned to Frank last week, oh, here's what you do. You can go to Google Docs and literally speak into it. Does a pretty decent job. Then you can copy that and move it into your document, and actually in Word, there's a place that will read it back to you. So I'm going to try to do that. Okay. With all kidding put aside here we go. This is my Word document that I've got open right now. Let me zip over here. And so here you open up a new tab. Can you see that okay, Frank? Dick?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Okay, so you sign into Google under your account. Go to this little, what appears to be a keypad here. We're going to go to our drive, and we're going to go to New, and we're going to go to Docs. We're going to do a new document. And here is a new document. We've all seen that before. But we go to Tools and Voice Typing. Now here's the cool part. So I'm going to click this, and it's going to watch everything I say, and you can see it come right up on the screen like that, period. New paragraph. We're actually having a podcast at the moment, and it's really fun to do so. We all like to be very helpful, period. Pretty nice, huh?
Yes, it is.
Okay, now I'm going to grab that. I'm going to highlight it, copy it, and I'm going to move it over to my document here. Make a spot. I'm going to paste it right in. And there it is. Okay, now I can go format it and do all the other things that you normally do. Let me move this to the bottom here. And I believe what we want to do is go to the Review tab. I've got it highlighted, and we hit Read.
And it's going to watch everything I say, and you can see it come right up on the screen like that. We are actually having a podcast at the moment, and it's really fun to do so. We all like to be very helpful.
So you can see, did you hear that?
Yeah, loud and clear. Oh, that was, yeah, yes.
Now, what's nice about this is the proofing tool, because, it sometimes grabs the wrong word, but you can play it, and then you can stop it, and your controller's all up over here. So there's no reason people can't chunk up from flyers to marketing materials to books, all via using Google Docs in concert with Word. And I don't know if you can see it, but I have 183 pages here, and I set up my table of contents, so you can just click and you're right there, and makes a very great way. Then you can just export this literally to any number of online services, which leads me into my next thing I want to talk. Oh, any questions on that before I leave?
No, I thank you for introducing me to this, because it's made my life a lot easier.
All right. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to go, okay, I want to reintroduce, we did this a few years back, is Fiverr. So that's like the letter 5 with 2 R's.com. And Fiverr, so, we had a meeting today, Frank, where, people talked about materials and marketing materials and campaigns and whatnot. Well, Fiverrs are what it sounds like. For $5, that's their starting price. And then, you get a couple, 20, 30, 40 bucks going on by upgrading. But just for example, here's a logo design, build your own logos. And so you can hire these guys. I will create a clean a logo for your company, and that's starting at 650 bucks. We're not doing that, but I will design 3 premium logos starting at $5. I will design 2 modern logos, $10. So you can get, and I've never seen prices like these. before. So obviously they're trying something different here, and it looks like they're all in this first category. They're trying to get the maximum amount of money, but there's a lot of talented people here that will do graphics and design for you. Here's logo design, business cards, stationery, flyers and brochures. Let's go look at those for a minute. So there's hardly any reason I want to get rid of that. Now notice that they don't make that easy anymore. When
I seen that happen, there was a time delay before the X showed up.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do that. I'll just continue. I'll just continue as Peter. All right. So here's Fiverr Pro New. Basically, we can get marketing materials, design professional brochure, a flyer, or leaflet for $5. And what's nice about these people is you can send your stuff in. Here's a $15 standard, $20. Here's your basic. Contact me. Here's his various packages you can sign up for. And then about this gig, he'll tell you all about it. They usually also have frequently asked questions, and here are their feedbacks from other people. So you can really start to look and see what these people are all about before you hire them for you to send your material. So gosh almighty, here's resumes and proofreading and editing, translation, creative writing. There are business books in here too, digital marketing. You can do SEO, content marketing, video marketing, email marketing. So what is it you want to do? They even have t-shirt designs and stuff like that. Music and audio, programming and tech. You want a WordPress website, they'll do it. I don't know what they cost. Let's see. Yeah, they're 95, 200 bucks, 100 bucks, 95, so I'm at these are, you can get started and go for it. So let me see about business here. They have virtual assistants, marketing research, business plans. Let's look at that for a second. $40, $210, $60, $595. Business plans are pretty expensive stuff, so I can believe that these costs are a little bit higher. So anyway, any questions on that?
So this takes away the excuses. Oh, I haven't done my design yet. Okay, so you got $5? Go to Fiverr and get it done. Next excuse.
Yeah. It really starts to knock things down. There are other places on the web too that will competitively, you can put in, I want a logo, here's what I want, and 3 people will compete for your business. And I think they're like 20 to 50 bucks a piece, something like that. Whoever wins, you give them 50 bucks and they produce whatever they say they're going to do for you. So there are these places out there, freelance.
Yeah, so Phil just did that for his logo. Phil out of Chicago, and he sent it out to bid, and they sent him three people sent some stuff to him, and he picked the one he wanted, and he finalized the deal with them.
Right. And
Good
Dick,
stuff.
you'll forgive me for drinking Starbucks, Dick. Yes.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Well, yes. I went out to meet with Frank this morning at his new meetup group, and I was getting gas out here and thought, I need some coffee. So off I went. Anyway, that's my my stuff for the moment, and I guess I'm almost ready for Frank here.
There's that magic sound. Okay.
All right, Frank and his twin, go for it.
Yes, yeah. Today's topic is a gentleman named Michael Dubin.
Who the heck is Michael Dubin?
I am so glad you asked, Karnak. Okay, Michael Dubin was born in Philadelphia. And his sister and his brother, they had a very happy childhood. But Michael recalls that his children, a very smart lady, she focused on keeping her children's brains always exercised. And the key term there is always. For example, being in Philadelphia, the kids had snow days and there was no school. Well, Michael made each child do math problems before going out to play, make sure their brain was exercised. Obviously, it had an effect on Michael because in July of 2016, Michael Dubin became the first CEO of an LA-based startup to accomplish something special. Now, no one should have been surprised by this because throughout his life, there were clues that Michael Dubin was going to be, and I'll use a term that relates to my book, Michael Dubin was going to be a rebel, misfit, and a maverick of enormous potential. So what I did is I went and I researched Michael, and I've identified notable stages in his life, and what makes Michael so special are the things that Michael does that most people don't. Let's start with the stages. Let's talk about Michael's Halloween stage. You know, in the late 1980s, the most popular costumes for kids were Ninja Turtles, Bart Simpson, and Batman. Michael's mother related in an interview recently that when he was 7 years old, she asked him, "Hey, Michael, what do you want to be for Halloween?" Figuring he would take Bart Simpson because that was a popular one. But Michael said, "You know what, Mom? I want to be a businessman." 7 years old. So his mother says, "Okay." So she dressed him up in a suit, white shirt and tie, and gave him a briefcase to go from door to door trick-or-treating. To state that Michael stood out from every other trick-or-treater that evening would be an understatement. Let's go a few years later now. Michael's in school. High school, as a matter of fact. And Michael's mother, in the same interview, recalls, "You know what? Michael was an up and down student." Really?
Uh-huh. If that's for me, I'm not here.
I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
This is the iPad I didn't shut off. Michael McCudd, that he was an up and down student. And so the interviewer says, "What does that mean?" She says, "Well, if Michael was interested in the class, he was a great student. But if Michael was not interested in the class, he was a terrible student." And his mother recalls that at that particular high school, at a parent-teachers conference, the teacher said two things to Michael's mother. She says, "You know what, Mrs. Dubin? Michael's a class clown. And I've got to be honest with you, I don't think he will really ever amount to anything." It was right after that meeting that Michael's mother transferred him from that school to a private school. And I don't blame her.
I don't blame her either.
And it's interesting. The private school structure helped Michael become a better, more consistent student. Michael went on to graduate from Emory University in Atlanta, living in Philadelphia. And after graduation, Michael decided to study improv at a comedy improv school. A very wise decision, as you will see later. Let's go ahead a few years now, and Michael's now living in Manhattan. I call it the Duane Reade pharmacy stage of his life. One day, while living in Manhattan, Michael was walking the streets, and as he was passing by a Duane Reade pharmacy, he said, "Damn it, I got to buy razor blades." But he dreaded the thought of going to buy in razor blades. Why? Because number one, the razor blades were always kept in a locked cabinet. You remember that? Next, you had to go find someone who had the key to open up the damn locked cabinet. Number three, then you would have to escort them to the locked cabinet so that they would open the locked cabinet so you could look. Then you had to select the least overpriced razor blades that you would be satisfied with. And five, then you had to go wait in line at the register to pay for these overpriced razor blades. Michael thought to himself, "Man, there's got to be a better way." But he didn't know what to do at that time. We go a few years later. I call it the Los Angeles stage. Michael made a major life decision, and he moved from New York to Los Angeles. Michael was still searching and did not know what he wanted to do, but he knew he wanted to start a business. He just didn't know what it was. Then one day, as luck would have it, Michael was attending a party in Los Angeles when he was introduced to the father-in-law of one of his friends. "Hey, you know, it's my father-in-law," and so forth. And during a discussion, the father-in-law mentioned to Michael that he had a warehouse full of razor blades for a deal that fell through, and he didn't know what to do with them. Michael says, "I got an idea. Let's sell them." "Well, great idea, Michael." But Michael was facing 5 obstacles he had to overcome. Number one, up until that moment, every one of Michael's harebrained ideas didn't work. He had no track record. Number two, Michael had no experience in a razor business. Number three, the razor business was dominated by a company out of Boston called Gillette. And Michael did not have the slotting fees, you know what slotting fees where you pay for shelf space, did not have the slotting fees to have his razor blades placed in retail stores. Okay. And there were already internet sites selling razor blades online. Oh, and by the way, Michael had no money to start this company. So what did he do? Well, Michael thought back at his frustrations when buying razor blades at Duane Reade Pharmacy in New York City. And Michael says, you know what? I can't be the only person who hates going into that store. He said, there must be a way for me to sell razor blades directly to the consumer that would eliminate these frustrations. However, as Michael set out to launch a beta version of his company, they were still faced by Gillette, which was owned by Procter & Gamble. And that's when Michael's confidence kicked in. He says, you know what? Screw it. I can challenge Gillette directly and I'll become very successful. But how? And here's where Michael tapped into his comedy improv training. And he invested almost all of his money he had into a video to introduce his new company, which he called Dollar Shave Club.
I was going to ask you that.
Starring Michael himself. The video went viral.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
The key scene in that video shows Michael walking out of a store, Michael himself, and he's saying to the camera, are our blades any good? And he goes, no, our blades are effing great. And they bleep out the effing. As Michael proudly states, you know what? We are really good at telling the story about why we exist and why the customer should take a chance on us. He says, we told our story in a very straightforward way, speaking directly to the customer. But that wasn't Michael's breakthrough idea, even though it helped. Michael posted his video not on TV, not on radio, and not in any store. He posted this video only on YouTube. Only on YouTube. Now he's competing against Gillette. Not only did the customers see the video, because it went viral, but so did potential investors. That video got 12,000 subscribers the first day it was online.
Wow.
But let's go back to his mother. His mother saw the video. She was not impressed. When she saw the video, her first reaction was, how irreverent. Talk about effing great. Well, the video launched at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, and within 30 minutes, their site crashed due to too much traffic, and they ran out of inventory. Now, what made this video was Michael's style and unconventional marketing with a touch of humor from his comedy improv. So how did Gillette react? Like most big companies do. They ridiculed him, then they sued him, and then now they're copying him. So how did Dollar Shave Club do? In his first year, 2011, what, 7 years ago? Michael's Dollar Shave Club revenues were $7 million. First year. In the second year, 2012, Dollar Shave Club's revenues were $20 million. In 2015, just 4 years later, Dollar Shave Club sales reached $152 million. Now the story gets interesting. We go into the Unilever stage of Michael's life. In 2016, remember they just did $152 million, Dollar Shave Club got a phone call from Unilever. Unilever is a giant in the consumer industry. They do about $58 billion a year, and they're owned by Procter & Gamble. Unilever wanted to buy Dollar Shave Club because, number one, Dollar Shave Club had brand loyalty. Number two, Dollar Shave Club had achieved 3.2 million subscribers in 5 years, buying razor blades over. And number three, they had a very successful subscription model. So Unilever says, hey, Michael, Dollar Shave Club guy, we'd like to buy Dollar Shave Club for $400 million. As Michael's mother says, Michael put the phone to his chest and said to his mom, Mom, they're offering $400 million. And he gets back on the phone and says, no, thank you, that's not enough. And he hung up. Unilever called back and says, Michael, we'd like to buy Dollar Shave Club for $500 million. Again, Michael said, no, thank you. And finally, Unilever called again and says, Michael, we'd like to buy Dollar Shave Club for $1 billion, more than 5 times their revenue. Michael said, okay. And as they say, the rest is history. Not bad for a class clown who would not amount to anything. Thank you, high school. So those are the stages. Now I've gone through and I've identified by stage the 8 things that Michael Dubin does that most people don't. You ready? Halloween stage. Michael Dubin does what's right for him. Most people do what's popular. Michael did his thing, not the popular thing. While the other kids did what was popular, even at 7 years old, Michael wanted to be himself. My question is, in your industry, are you a leader or are you a follower? Leaders are in high demand. Followers are treated like commodities. Let's go to the school stage. What does Michael do that most people don't? Number 2, Michael does different in quotes to get his audience attention, or they will tune him out no matter how important he thinks his information is. Most people do what others do, just a little bit better, a little bit different, and hope they get their audience attention. In school, the classes that Michael did not do well in did not interest him. The classes where Michael excelled were the class that interested him. If your message gets ignored, it's for one of 2 reasons. Your audience doesn't care, or your audience finds you boring. What are you doing to make your message interesting to the people looking for someone like you? Next thing, Michael trained himself on how to make correct decisions on the fly. Most people wing it and hope they're doing the right thing. Michael stated the reason why he took comedy improv training is because it helped him in business, because it improved his ability to pick out key ideas on the fly and act immediately. What are you doing to improve this critical entrepreneurial skill? Let's go to the Dwayne Reed pharmacy stage of Michael's life. Michael turned his frustrations into a business opportunity. Frustrations of buying razor blades, because he felt that, if he was frustrated, other people would be frustrated too, and I bet they would pay to get those frustrations out of his life. You know what most people do? They follow what I call the Avis model. Copy your competitors, but just try harder, and you will succeed. That doesn't always work. Michael knew he wasn't alone, and that he just knew how to eliminate them. In your industry, what frustrations could you eliminate and become a star? Let's go to LA, the LA stage. Michael creates his own arena and his own rules that favor him. Most people try to compete with Goliath, like Gillette, in Goliath's arena, and then wonder why they're not more successful. Michael says, you know what, Gillette? You own the shelf space in stores. You online guys, you sell your online stuff. I have something different called subscription model. We just send it to you every month. Michael did not try to bleach Gillette on the shelves or did not try to beat the online resellers. Michael created a membership service that differentiated Dollar Shave Club from everybody else. What arena have you created for your business where you can be the king or the queen? Number 6, Michael goes where others are not. He didn't go to TV or radio or print. He went to YouTube. Most people go where all the others are because that's where the place to be and wonder why they're not getting enough leads. Michael went to YouTube because he knew that his target audience, which was the young male, were YouTubers. And oh, by the way, he didn't have the money to buy radio, TV, or print ads. YouTube was free. And Michael did not run normally politically correct ads. Matter of fact, his mother called him irreverent. Where are you running your message that is different from the others in your industry? Is your message similar to, but a little bit different than the others? Or is it bold and different and maybe a little irreverent? Let's go to the Unilever stage now. I get 2 more. Michael does different. Therefore, he is more valuable because he has no competition. Membership club. Most people believe that being better than the competition is the best way to increase value. You're a commodity. Michael was not just another razor blade selling online or in stores. He was a membership company. When Unilever decided to get into the re-enter the consumer space with razor blades, they could have pursued just about any company in the world. But Unilever wanted something different. That's why they went after Dollar Shave Club. How are you making your company different so that it dramatically increases your value of your company? And finally, Michael does not settle for anything less than what he was worth. Most people are happy with half a loaf because at least they're profitable. Michael turned down the first 2 offers from Unilever because he knew Dollar Shave Club was worth more. What can you start doing today to increase the value of your company by being different? And gentlemen, that is my twin for today.
Very
Michael,
cool. Very cool. I don't know if you know the history of Gillette, but Gillette became a household name in World War I. They were the first ones to develop a safety razor that could go in the military.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they had the shave for the gas masks in World War I. That was his big break. But anyway, all right.
By the way, and Gillette's doing very well. It's just that Michael is not doing bad himself.
No, a matter of fact, I've even heard his ads on Sean Hannity.
Yeah.
Dollar Shave Club. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, he's still the CEO. He works out of Venice, and let's say how much he got out of this deal.
Venice, California.
Yeah, Venice, California, and he showed a picture of his house and so forth. The estimate is that he wound up leaving gross out of the Unilever deal with about $539 million.
Jeez.
Not bad for a kid who was a class clown and not going to amount to anything.
Amount to anything, right.
So that's it.
All right. Dick, you're up next.
Okay. Well, my subject it kind of dovetails with what Frank just talked about. It's been a while since we've been on a podcast, and I was thinking about different things, and I've heard the term that is about disruptive business models. Now, LegalShield, which I represent, considers itself a disruptive business model, and the definition of disruption is innovation is a term in the field of business administration which refers to an innovation that creates a new market and a value network and eventually disrupts an existing market and value network, displacing established market leading firms, products, and alliances. That sounds familiar to what Frank just did in his twin.
Yes.
So, okay, now as an entrepreneur, what is a disruptive definition? It says, in pitching an idea, entrepreneurs often describe their products and services as disruptive. This term comes from Clayton Christensen's writing on the challenge. Okay, in LegalShield, one of the slides that we have in our business briefing is the best business models of today are simple, they're disruptive, and they're noble. They're not easily duplicated, and they have an app. Okay, some examples of the disruptive companies we all know are Uber, Blockbuster, Airbnb, Amazon, Netflix, and Dollar Shave Club. They all have done something different to the marketplace than changed the marketplace. I mean, Netflix is absolutely destroying TV ratings, and now everyone is going into the streaming video thing, which is going to make the cable people, I think, eventually are going to be suffering greatly because their viewerships are going down. ESPN has lost something like 2 million viewers over the last year or two, because the millennials are really not into sitting down and watching the cable TV. They're interested in looking at it on their phone or their pad or whatever way they choose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is all great. And, and I say to myself, well, I'm not Netflix and I'm not Uber and I'm not Amazon or any of these companies. I'm just, a guy trying to make a living out here. And I said, so how can I be disruptive? How can I present my product in a disruptive manner? I don't have all the answers to it, but one of the things that I realize is I can't go in and be like everyone else. I can't go into these meetups I go to and these mixes I go to and get on Facebook and just be one more person trying to sell to the masses that have already heard the pitch, already seen the pitch, and aren't really interested in it. So I'm really looking at how I can do this differently. So I'm using the app that LegalShield's provided me. I no longer I hand out very few business cards. Do you want me to wait a minute, please?
No, go ahead, Dick.
I hand out very few business cards unless I'm asked to. I was at a meetup this morning and gave a 10-minute presentation on what I do, and I never handed out a business card. I had a couple people come past after and ask me for it, which I did. I just talk about the ease of doing business with the LegalShield app, and I demonstrate that, where you can if you get a speeding ticket, you take a picture of it, you mail it to your attorney. If you need a will, you can do it on your app, and so I'm finding that's much more effective. Now, I don't know how disruptive that is, but it's a little different, a little more effective. I want to start targeting the millenniums of the world. I haven't really focused on that because most of these things I go to are people, my age or maybe 10 years younger, but you don't see a lot of 20, 30 something. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get into that demographic. I'm also putting together a plan to get into the Hispanic population in the Valley. I've ordered a bunch of Hispanic literature and I'm trying to address that market. So in my own little way, I'm trying to be disruptive in the Valley as far as getting my message out. It's been, I would say, successful. I've signed up quite a few people. I don't have all the answers yet, but I'm really trying to brand myself as a disruptive network marketer that's not just going to come in and hand out cards, and I'm not going to just pitch it. When someone asks me what's LegalShield, I take out my phone and hand it to them and look at it, here it is, and I even walk away. So that's kind of what I'll talk about. I'll talk more about it as I come up with, I think, more concrete ideas and plans. But I do know that if what's the definition of insanity? If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, then expect different results, you're insane. So I'm trying to be a little bit different out there. I still go to the mixes, I still go to the meetups, but I go with a much different attitude and a much different plan to be successful with them. So that's pretty much my pitch for the day.
Excellent. That's exciting, Dick.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I've been hearing the term a lot, and you hear things like the Dollar Shave Club, and you hear all those things, and you realize, the guy that, and I'll be honest with you, I shared his frustrations. I hate to go buy razors. First of all, they're way overpriced. Secondly, you got to get somebody to lock the door. And thirdly, to try to get them out of the package is a pain in the neck too. So here's a guy who recognized it and did it.
I have that problem all the time, Dick.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah. And all these people that Jeff Bezos, I mean, I've been following Amazon for years, and they lost money after year after year after year. Now he's the richest man in the world ever. he's controlling the world, and I think is becoming dangerous to the world, because if he wants your business, he'll just put you right out of business. So, but they all started small, and I'm trying to take it down to just one network marketer on how I could approach my business in a disruptive marketing way. So.
Well, that kind of follows along, Frank, with what we talked about.
Yeah, Dick, let me tell you what this group that Peter attended, something that I started a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact, just brand new. And one of the people that attended our meeting this morning is in a network business. It's a lady, and you know, again, let me use you as an example. I can get Legal Shield from you. I can get it from the guy next door to you, the guy at the next meetup. It's Legal Shield, Legal Shield, Legal Shield. Right?
Right. Yeah.
You guys are all selling the same. So you're all selling the same. And so what we did with her, and what we did is we sort of said, okay, stop promoting your network thing that you do. Promote something that uses your network thing as a vehicle to get where I want to go. So we said, you know, hey, we're talking to her about real estate, and we talked this morning. I said, a lot of real estate people would love to get those for sale by owners to sign on with them as a listing agent.
Yeah.
So he says, don't sell what she's doing. Sell, hey, we have a program that shows real estate people how to get listing agents, become a listing agent for sale by owners. Now a real estate guy says, whoa, that's something I'm interested in. Okay? When you tell me you're going to send the network, they say, oh yeah, I heard about that. You and the other lady, the other meetup sells that same thing. Okay, yeah, I'm not interested. So if you address it to, in your case, a major problem that they have, to say, you know, how do you do that? Well, I have this thing called Legal Shield, but that's the vehicle. I have a way of getting, anyway, so what you do is you package it to solve a problem as opposed to package it, that type of thing. And there's a guy in Virginia who did this, and he wrote a book, and we talked about the book this morning. And all of a sudden, he is now in demand. Because he's not doing this, he's solving anyway. So, and I think Legal Shield would be a perfect example. I'm very excited for you. What a fun thing to, and damn it, it keeps you excited because what can I think of next?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? That
absolutely.
is really, really good. Congratulations. That's good stuff.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, you know, I think if you break down, you know, this business models of today, that, you know, one, they're simple. Okay, simple is here's my phone, here's your app, call your hit a button, call your lawyer. Okay, that's simple. I think it's disruptive. You don't have to go sit in someone's attorney's office, have them push the button and charge you $300 an hour or whatever. You can do it from your home, your car. If you get stopped by a cop, you can say, hold on, I want to call my attorney. Before I answer any questions, boom, you press the button, you got the attorney on, he talks to the cops. So, you know, so that's simple. And it's disruptive because of the way they do it. And I think it's noble. I mean, you know, one of the things that the founder of the company said when he lost his fortunes because of an accident he was in and he wasn't to blame, he said that, you know, the justice system saying that justice for all should be justice for all that can afford it. Because that's why he started this company. So it's a noble intent. So I'm going by those three things right there in my approach to anything I say or do from now on. So.
Does Legal Shield have a family plan where if I'm a father with a wife and 2 teenagers, does the plan cover my family?
Yes, it covers up to 6 children ages 26 and under in college or living at home. And if you have a special needs child, it's covered for life.
There's a hook right there.
Yeah.
There's a big hook right there.
There's a lot of stuff about Legal Shield. I mean, I'm a member.
Yeah.
I've used it once or twice, I think.
Yeah.
You know, but priceless because I'm used to using lawyers, you know.
Yeah.
I meant to have. I mean, think that out, Frank. You get pulled over for a speeding ticket. Not that I haven't had a speeding ticket since 1984. Now, actually, that's not true. It was 1970. Okay. It's been a while. But the fact that you can like push a button on an app, get right to talk to somebody, priceless, you know, that connectivity.
Yeah.
You know, my first two thoughts, Dick, and thinking about what you're doing, my first thought is this. To me, Legal Shield is like a life insurance policy, which I did for a while.
Yep.
You buy it not because you want to use it. and you hope you never use it. But if you do need it, you're so glad it's there, and so are your loved ones.
Right.
And number two, you do not have to be guilty to need legal help.
No.
No, that's not nowadays. That's for sure.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah.
the same thing came out today, Frank, too, you know, when I was talking about American Home Shield,
Yes. Yes.
you know, where my brother, who just left to go to town, yeah, he was the one that introduced me to it. And I love American Home Shield so much that I've gotten 2 other people on it.
Mhm.
You know, but you use it once, it's $100 deductible, and they'll either fix it or repair whatever is broken. Where can you find stuff like that?
Yeah.
Priceless.
It's something you don't need, but you're so glad you have it when you do.
Or,
Right.
but it's like you say, when you need it, you are so glad
Man.
you had it.
And it's not expensive.
Oh
No.
no, it's on the same part of my legal shield. You know, my legal shield is $39 a month, and this American Home Shield thing is about $39 a month.
There you go.
And so,
But you know, I think just getting back to, you know, the whole flavor of what we try to do is, I think that anyone listening or watching this podcast, you know, when you first hear the disruptive companies, you say, well, that's great, but that doesn't pertain to my day-to-day life. Well, you're wrong. It does. If you want to be successful, you have to adapt and change and do things differently. So, you know, if you're selling real estate or whatever you're selling or whatever you're marketing, look for ways to be disruptive and be simple and help your clients out.
yeah, that dovetails in nicely of last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a statement this morning that the group. I said when you go to talk people, I use 3 terms: be bold, in other words, be strong, be different, or be ignored.
Yeah.
Because if you sound like everybody else, oh yeah, there's no big
You know,
deal.
the other interesting thing we talked about too was, you know, I brought up the sledgehammer routine, you know, where you
Yes.
touch people 12 times if you want 12 grand from them, for example, you know, and how to think out of the box. And we talked about sending lumpy mail, and don't do the same thing everybody else is doing. You think?
Well, again, to talk about, if you bring back Dubin, Michael Dubin, how frustrating is buying razor blades? Oh, it's just a pain in the ass, Frank. It's not that big a deal. Really? It's $1 billion idea to Michael Dubin.
Yeah.
$1 billion idea would it be? Not bad for solving a razor blade frustrations. And we all face it. I hate going to buy those razor blades.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, there you go. All right, guys. Anything else?
We're in good
No.
shape, man.
I think
Nice,
we're all-
quick and easy. Bing, bang, boom. Say goodnight, Frank.
Good night, Frank.
Yeah, say goodnight, Dick.
Good night, Dick.
Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Hang on a second.